Welcome to my very first YouTube video. I am going to be showing you a crochet tutorial, or amigurumi style. I always have trouble saying that word. Amigurumi style. Anyway, I am really excited for this project that I am doing. I am designing the 150 original Pokemon characters, and the most special part about this project is that every critter is going to be donated to the Phoenix Children's Hospital. So my project completion date will be 2019. So I'm very excited to roll out this YouTube channel and to just get everything going and change my business over to being charity based. So today we're going to learn how to make this Pokemon ball that I designed, and very exciting, when you open the Pokemon ball, a little mini Pokemon is inside, and this is Bulbasaur. So this is the Bulbasaur that I designed, and all of the I'm calling them Pokemon minis, all of them will fit inside of this Pokeball. So without further ado, let's get to crocheting. I am super excited. So all right. Okay, so the materials that you're going to need for this project are yarn. I use red, black, and white. The red that I used is called Cherry Red, and the black is just plain black, and the white is also plain white. Now, there's a lot of more different colors of white, like there's soft white and off-white, and I did not know that until just recently. So if you want the whitest white, make sure and get white. No other labels on there. We also use fabric tack. I found these awesome little Velcro circles at Walmart. They're little tiny circles, but they work perfect for the Poke button. A 3.75 millimeter crochet hook. Scissors, and a yarn needle. So let's get started. To begin, we're going to use our white yarn. And we're going to make a magic ring, or a magic circle. How you make a magic circle is you just wrap it around your two fingers, making an X, and grab that yarn with your pinky. Taking your hook, insert it under the first loop, over the second loop. Pull that second loop underneath, spinning it around, and then you can let go with your other hand. Now, you want to take this yarn and yarn over and pull through that loop that you have created. Pull that circle, and we're going to be starting with a magic ring of 6. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both loops. That's your first single crochet. Again, insert your hook into the magic circle, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. I lost my, do you see what I did? There we go. That's okay. Just take your time and go slow. Sometimes when we're first learning, it takes a little longer. So that was 2 so far. So now we're going to do 3. 4. 5. And 6. Now you completed round 1. What I do when I get done with my magic ring is I pull it nice and snug. And there's round 1, and you should have 6 stitches back if you count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you have 6 stitches. Okay, so for round 2, you're going to do an increase in every single stitch around. So by the end of the round, you will have 12 stitches. On this round, I also like to crochet over this tail piece so that we do not have to weave it in later. So go ahead and pull it nice and tight. And an increase just means 2 stitches in 1 stitch. So there's your first one and second one. Two, two. So continue that all the way around, putting 2 stitches into 1 stitch. And make sure and crochet over this so that when you get to the very end of the round, it is hidden. So I have just finished round 2, and I have 12 stitches around. Grab a yarn needle, I'll show you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So what I'm going to do is cut this tail. You don't need it. You've crocheted around. You've got it nice and snug. So what we need to do is get rid of that tail. And then for round 3, we're going to be doing a pattern of 1 single crochet, 1 increase. 1 single crochet, 1 increase. So the pattern is 1, 1, 2. 1, 1, 2. And you complete that all the way around. So I'll show you the first couple of stitches. 1, and how I count that, because at the end of the round you're going to have 18 stitches. So I count 1, 2, 3 in that same stitch. And then you continue. 4, 5, 6 in that same stitch. And you continue that pattern of 1 single crochet, 1 increase, all the way around until you have 18 stitches all the way around. I have just completed round 3, and I now have 18 stitches around. So the next round is round 4, and now we will have, at the end of this round, we will have 24 stitches. And the pattern is 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, 1 increase. So you have 2 single crochets into their own stitch, and then 1 increase, which is 2 single crochets into the same stitch. 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. And at the end of the round, you will have 24 stitches. So let's start. 1, 2, and then your increase. 3, 4. Again, so now we're on 5, 6, and then your increase, which will be 7 and 8. 7, 8. I'll do it one more time, just for good luck. 9, 10, and then your increase. 11, 12. Continue that all the way around until you have 24 stitches. I have just completed round 4 and I have 24 stitches around. Now we're going to do round 5, and at the end of this round you will have 30 stitches around. The pattern for this round is, let me grab my little needle again, 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, 1 increase. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and you'll have 30 stitches at the end of this round. 1, 2, 3, 4, now your increase, 4, 5. Continue that pattern all the way around so that you have 30 stitches by the end of round 5. I have just completed round 5 and I now have 30 stitches around. So if you need to go back and count, you'll have 30. And you'll notice you'll start getting the shape of a hexagon. Right? Hexagons have 6, right? Anyway, you'll start getting these edges if you're doing it right, because you're increasing in the same areas. So you'll start getting this pattern. So for round 6, we will have 36 stitches at the end of the round, and you're going to single crochet into the next 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you will increase on 5 and 6. Well, increase on stitch number 5, 3, 5, 6. So I'll do that with you now. 4 single crochets, 1 increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Increase into the same stitch. 5 and 6 into that same stitch. Now repeat that pattern all the way around until you get to 36, so that you will have 36 stitches total. I have just completed round 6 and I have 36 stitches around. The next round you will end with 42 stitches around, and here is how your pattern will go. you will have 5 single crochets and then an increase. So you'll want to single crochet 1, single crochet 2, single crochet 3, single crochet 4, single crochet 5, and then your increase for 6, 7. One, two, three, four, five, six, and in the same stitch, 7. Now you will continue that pattern all the way around until you have 42 stitches around the entire Pokemon ball bottom. I have just finished round 7 and I now have 42 stitches all the way around. Now this last round is going to be our very last increase round. It's not our last round, this next round is going to be our last increase round. So now at the end of round, we're starting round 8, and at the end of this round we will have 48 stitches in total. So here is the pattern. You will have 6 single crochets and then an increase. So you'll have 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, 4 single crochet, 5 single crochet, 6 single crochet, increase on 7 and 8 single crochet, and then you will repeat that pattern all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now it's time for the increase for 7 and 8. 7, and in the same stitch, 8. Now continue that pattern of 6 single crochets, 1 increase, all the way around, and you will have 48 stitches at the end of this round. I just completed round 8 with the 6 single crochet, 1 increase, and we have 48 stitches around, and it's starting to make a little bit of a dome shape. If it's not, that's okay. Sometimes my work is flat and sometimes it starts going round by itself. This one is, so kind of cool. The next 4 rounds, so it will be round 9 through 12, so 9, 10, 11, 12, will all be single crochets all the way around, and this is going to build up our Pokeball. So all you're going to, and if you lose track of counting, you can always use a stitch marker. I probably should have mentioned this earlier, but if you need a stitch marker, just pull your yarn out like I just did, insert your hook, and you can either use an actual stitch marker, you can buy them online or Walmart, or you can just use a piece of yarn. So I'm using white. I don't really like to mix my yarns. Oops. Let's see here. Let's try again. Insert your hook and then pull that yarn right through, and then you have your stitch marker right there. And then you don't have to count all 48 all the way around. You can if you prefer to count, especially if you're first starting. When I was first starting, I really liked to count every single stitch, but you can just have a stitch marker there, go 1, 2, 3, 4, all single crochet.
and you can leave the stitch marker in there. So just start going around, single crochet all the way around. For 4 rounds, you'll just go 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, 4 single crochet, and you just continue that all the way around, and I will see you at the end of round 12. So keep doing that for 4 rounds. So I am coming up to the end of the 12th row, and as you can see, we have this nice dome shape. And I wanted to quickly show you, if you lose count, I just left my stitch marker in. So I know 1, 2, 3, 4. I counted every time I went around. So I'm going to leave it in there until I get to the end. I have 3 more stitches left. But if you lose count ever, you can always count from the beginning, and here's how I count my rows. So this is the end of the row right here. So you would go back, and here's your circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and I'm working on 12 right now, so when I come around, it's going to be a 12 right there. So that's how you can check to make sure you're on the right row if you're doing a bigger project or anything like that. And if it's helpful, you can move your stitch marker every time around. You can just pull it out and move it up, but I just left it in. So we have 3 stitches left, and on this 3rd stitch, we're going to be doing something crazy. We're going to switch colors. Now don't panic, it's not as hard as it sounds, and it'll be okay. I'm right here with you. So 1, we have 3 stitches left. Oops, sorry, I bonked the camera. 2. Alright, now on this last stitch, we are going to switch colors. So you start the stitch as normal, go into the stitch, and pull up the white yarn. Now, while you have the white yarn on there, you're going to grab your black yarn and just hold it on there like so. And you're going to pull the black yarn through both loops. Now you can straighten those down a little, pull them a little tighter. And then you're going to clip this white yarn. You do not need it anymore. I just want to show you that one more time. So we're going into the last loop on round 12. Go in, pull up the white, grab your black yarn, and pull it through. And then you have a nice hidden stitch. So on this round 13, and this is actually the last round of the first half of the Pokeball, we are going to be crocheting in the back loop only. And the reason for this is I've kind of like looked at a bunch of Pokeball pictures, and they have this little indentation in the very center. Like if you notice, the black is just like a little bit sunken in. So that's the reason I did that. If you prefer to keep it exactly even, you can always go through 2 loops. But let me show you really quick, see if I can get a close-up. Going through the back loop only, usually when we crochet, we go through both loops. So you can see there is this little V shape right here. And usually we crochet through both of those. When you want to go through the front loop only, you will be going through this loop only. But when the pattern calls to go through the back loop, you go through the back loop only. So that is where we will insert our crochet hook. Instead of through both, we're going through the back loop only. And that was a little confusing for me at first when I first started, so I wanted to do it nice and slow with you. And again, with your tails, instead of sewing, I always like to just crochet them in, because it just keeps them in tight and I don't have to worry about going back later. Alright, so let's go in. Back loop only, keeping those other 2 tails tucked in. and do a single crochet. Back loop only, single crochet, and keep those tails tucked in. And like I said, if you prefer the going through both loops, that won't matter. It won't affect the pattern at all if you prefer to go through both loops. So after about 6 stitches, I cut these. So I'm just going to go ahead and do those real fast. If you need help on single crochets, just go back and watch the beginning when I did them slower. When I first started, it took a lot of pausing and rewinding to see how the crochet artists were actually doing their work. Oops, I missed it. Okay, so that should be enough. 6 stitches. And then you're just going to cut these. Cut these tails right here. Be careful not to cut the one you're working with. That could be bad. Okay, so you're just going to continue around, back loops only. And continue all the way around. I'm coming up to the last couple stitches of round 13. I'm going to finish off going in the back loop only. And now when you get to there, I want you to go through both of these and you're going to do a slip stitch. So you go through both, pull your yarn through, and instead of yarning over at this point, you continue pulling it through. Leave quite a long tail for sewing in, because we will use this to either sew in the pokey button or to sew on the top part of the pokey ball. And then just pull your yarn through, all the way through. And then what I like to do is pull that nice and tight. It creates a knot, and that is called your slip stitch, and that's how you finish off. So now you have your very first part of the Pokeball completely done. And it should be like a nice little round shape. If not, don't worry. It takes a couple tries sometimes. What you're going to do now is make the same exact pattern with your red yarn. So I'm not going to show you that because I just showed you how to do the entire thing. So if you need to see it again, pause and rewind all the way back to the beginning and grab your red yarn and do the same exact steps, even changing to the black yarn, the same exact steps from round 1 to 13. It will be round 14 through 26 though, but it'll just be repeating round 1 through 13 all the way. So that's what you do. I will meet you back when you have your white side and red side done, and I will show you how we can put them together to form the Pokeball and how to make the Poke Button. I just finished the red side of the Pokeball, so the top side, and you can see they'll go together nicely and make a nice round shape. When we sew them together, we're going to make sure and line up those edges where the black where we switch to the black yarn, we'll line that up. Anyway, right now we're going to start by making the Pokeball. So we're going to need to grab our black yarn, and what we're going to do is make a black circle, making a black magic ring or magic circle, whatever you prefer to call it. we're going to begin again by doing 6 single crochet into the magic ring. So there's 6. And then we're going to do an increase in every round. Again, crocheting over this tail. So there's the first increase. 2. Okay, I'm going to continue that all the way around until I get 12 stitches. I just finished round 2 and now I have 12 stitches around. I'm going to trim this tail and then we will do round 3, and round 3 is the final round on this part of the pokey button. For round 3 we just do 1 single crochet, 1 increase, 1 single crochet, 1 increase. Do that all the way around so that you have 18 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and continue that all the way around. I just finished my 18th stitch on round 3. Now I'm going to do a slip stitch in that following stitch. And I'm actually going to do another slip stitch just to make sure that it's round. I want that to look like a very round circle. And then we're going to trim your yarn and pull that through and then pull that tight. And there is your black side of the button. Next we're going to do the white part of the button, starting with a magic ring. Again, we're going to do 6 single crochets into that button. Pull it tight with your tail. And for this one, we're only going to do 2 rounds. We're only going to do an increase round, and that will be that. So let's go right along to the increase round. So 1, and tuck in your tail so that you don't have to worry about it. 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5. Now I'm going to cut the yarn right here in between 5 and 5 2. 2, 6, 2. Now again, we're going to slip stitch. I don't know if it's going to need 1 or 2 quite yet. I'm just going to eyeball it. 1 slip stitch. And you know what? I am going to go ahead and do 2 slip stitches. Just makes it a little bit more round and tight. Now again, leave a little bit of a tail for yourself. Ah, that didn't cut. My scissors are dull. Okay, now pull that through. Alright, next we are going to sew this white part onto this black part, and that creates the button. And I will show you how to sew so you do not have any white showing on this part. If for some reason you don't like to sew, you can just use some fabric glue, put it on the black part, and then stick the white part on there. But then you will have to let this rest for 24 hours before you do anything else with it, so that it gets nice and hard. Taking this white yarn, go ahead and thread your yarn needle. Oh wait, I don't want to use this one. This one's much bigger. I like these smaller ones for these little details. Thread your yarn needle. Whoa. My needle jumped away. Okay. And make sure that you have both sides facing up. The back side is not, it's kind of lumpy. And it fits nicely inside each other just like a cup. So if it's fitting together like a cup, then you're good. And actually I see how there's like a little hole right there. I'm gonna fix that really fast. Just gonna weave in and out so that it's not so I'm gonna fix that hole a little bit. That way when we put it on there, the black isn't showing through. One more time. Just little details that really make it. So now that black won't show through. Okay, so what you're gonna do when you crochet, scratch that. When you sew, you're going to sew in between these stitches right here on the black one. That way, it's not coming through on that side. So you just go around. You stitch that together. Sew that together. And make sure it's nice and tight. And just continue going through that. And double check when you are doing it that you go right and make sure it's centered. Make sure you're catching that white and that black. And again, if you don't like to sew, just go ahead and glue it together. It will work just fine. All right. That's good. Go around your edges and make sure they're nice and tight. Once you get that nice and tight, just go ahead and clip that white yarn. Also, I put a knot in there. So clip that, and you can just tuck that part back down in. All right, there's your pokey button. Now we're gonna sew these two on with the pokey button. I totally said that wrong. We're going to sew the pokey button to the top of the pokey ball. But what we need to do first is weave this yarn tail that we left. It's a good yarn tail, but we need to move it back over here. So we're going to weave along with the stitches. Actually, you know what, we don't need. We're going to hide this yarn tail. Alright, so you can go in between the stitches and hide it. Right down here. It's a little bit tight because that's where we also had the, if you remember, we weaved in the yarn tails. But you can go right back there and go back across one more time. Actually, I'm going to go back across 3 times. So 1, 2, and this is the third. That way, it's extra secure. Okay, I'll go ahead and cut it right there. We do not need the yarn tail on the red one. On the white one, however, we do need the yarn tail. I left a little too much yarn tail. So we're going to thread the needle. And exactly what we just did on the red one, we're going to do with the white one. Except for this one, we're going to go all the way around and come over here to this section. I don't want it poking out the front, so be sure that it's not showing up on the front of your work. And it's nice to hide it right here because this is actually opening up. So even though this is the inside of your work, it will be seen. So kind of good to remember that. Oh my gosh, sorry. I don't know how long my hands were out of the camera frame. Alright, so continue this all the way across. Okay, so here's where our seam is. I am right here. I'm going to do 2 more behind stitches for sewing. And then I'm going to start sewing these 2 together. So, important, make sure that these 2 seams match up. If you want, you can pin them. You can pin it together if you want. Right there. Just to hold that in place. And what's really important is that we go through and catch the stitch on the other side. Okay, we're going to go through and sew that just like so, going back and forth, back and forth. And the black yarn is very forgiving. It makes it look very seamless. Alright, so I've gone over about four stitches. We're going to go, I want to do 6. So go through 6 of these stitches, catching the front loops with your needle. Here's number 6. Now we're going to go back across those same exact stitches. They're already stitched together, so it should be pretty easy. Now, take that out. It can open up nicely and give it a shape back. Now you can go through here just like we did before. And hide these stitches, and I'm actually going to do it on the white side since the red is a little bit tight. Just go right through there and hide that in there. It gives you a little more security and also keeps your work together. And then let's put a knot and go back through one more time. Alright, and then you're just going to clip your work. Okay, now we're going to attach the pokey button, and I attach it to the top part of the pokey ball, hiding this little seam. I'm going to take it on its side and sew it right to that. Okay, and we're going to go along this black line here so that we don't have any stitches showing. So it's kind of cool. And just like we sewed the pokey ball, we didn't go all the way through. We don't want that black thread to go through that white button. But we do want to catch that nice and tight. And we're going to go back and forth a couple of times. Okay, let's make our knot now. And clip our yarn. Woohoo! Your Pokeball is pretty much finished. Now you can leave that if you want, if you don't want to have any Velcro. But I personally really like the Velcro. And now we're going to use our fabric tack. And you have two sides. You have the soft, fuzzy side and the scratchy side. I like to use the soft, fluffy side right here because I'm going to have control of where I put this button. And so we want the sticky side to go on the button, so that when you put your button down, you know, obviously you're going to put your button right in the center. But if you had this over here, you might accidentally like get the ball stuck over there, you know. Anyway, let's grab our fuzzies. Oh, first let's take this lid off. Now we're going to glue this down. Tiniest little drop will do. Glue that over that seam right there. Now let's get our glue. It was warm here today, so it's coming out fast. Our Velcro. Want to work quickly because this stuff sets up and gets pretty tacky pretty fast. So put that on there, hold it on. And now in 24 hours it will be ready to stick together. So that is our Pokeball. Whoops. And now you can start making these little guys to put inside of your Pokeballs. Thank you so much for watching my video today. I hope that you liked it. I hope that you enjoyed it or learned something new. If you did like it, please like and subscribe for more fun videos and more amigurumi tutorials. Have a great day!